Hello, everyone, and welcome to my brand new channel, the Manga Lounge, however the hell you want to say it, doesn't really matter to me. I've been meaning to make this channel for a while now, but the spirit of procrastination has been kicking my ass up to this point, so it's taken me a while. But I'm done BSing, and I just wanted to put out at least one good video to get me started for chapter 1023 of One Piece. Because as anybody who's read it by now knows, it is great. It's fantastic. It's amazing. If you haven't read it by now, I implore you to please go do so before watching this video. This video will be containing spoilers. So without any further ado, I guess here we go. So first and foremost, I gotta say, it's really, really exciting to see Zoro and Sanji fighting side by side again. Every time they do, it's always a great thing because they may bicker and they may fight. You know, they'll talk whatever kind of shit to each other, but we all know that it's all love. They'll die for each other, and they make a really great team. And it's really nice seeing Zoro full power again for the time being. But man, Zoro is really gonna suffer when all this is said and done. This is touched on by Chopper and the Goat Doctor. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. If it's to ensure this victory, of course, it's a great thing. But man, I'm interested to see what the consequences are going to be. I'm sure this is going to be something kind of like a Sabaody, where after Kuma had really fucked him up, he wasn't the same for a while. He recovered. But yeah, he wasn't the same for a while, and we'll see how that goes. So we see Marco kind of having a flashback with Whitebeard, where he's talking about the Red Line and the people who inhabited God's land beforehand. And it's really just interesting to think of the fact that there were people living there before those, inbred sewer rats called the Celestial Dragons came in and took over and just really made a mess of everything. It's crazy to think that, and what we find out later, who we find out later to be the Lunarians, it's really crazy to think that they're really just the indigenous peoples of the One Piece universe, the One Piece world. Like, they inhabited this land long before anybody else. They had their own customs, they had everything, working the way they wanted to. And then here comes some people coming in and just ruining all of that. And then, coming in and claiming it as their land and doing whatever they want with it. Basically trying to rule the world from on top of it. It's really dumb, but I mean, hey, so the world goes. So we also kind of see Queen going on about, what makes the Calamity so great. In the scans, he was talking about, because the Calamity, their toughness. That's why they're unstoppable, which, makes a lot of sense because at the end of the day, they are ancient zones, and we know ancient zones just do not like to go down for some reason. But I'd imagine that reigns especially true with these guys because they are the all-stars. They are, the three commanders. So Queen won't shut up about it, but I mean, it's Queen. I don't really know what else to expect. Even Jack is over here, I guess you could call him tough because he's been taking L's all day. Inuarashi and Nekomamushi kicked his ass all up and down that rooftop before they fought Kaido. He still somehow found a way to get up. So, sure, whatever. He's tough too for now, but we'll get back on that later. So you also kind of see, Queen touching on Sanji's abilities and how, he really doesn't he assumed that Sanji was enhanced just like the rest of Judge's kids. But I mean, we know that's not the case. But I mean, from Queen's point of view, you kind of get it. I mean, you're not a Lunarian. So it's just like, how in the hell are you able to burst into flames? We've been with it for so long now that it doesn't really faze us. We're like, oh yeah, that's Sanji's ability. He can ignite his That's Sanji's ability. He can ignite his feet. So what? Big deal. He even says it himself. His passion is burning hotter than any other flame out there. Yeah, I mean, that's canon for us. We don't care. But like I said before, you would understand somebody else's point of view. They're like, what the fuck? Like, how are you able to dress a person in flame? That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Unless you were a Lunarian, which is, apparently what King's race is. But, we'll see. We'll see. So Sanji also remarks that, he's been feeling weird, not bad, just funny. After using the raid suit for the second time, and I'm really hoping what's going on isn't something like, using the raid suit is starting to augment his body or whatever. I really do hope that maybe it's just like, impending fatigue or maybe just his body's not used to moving like that. Again, he did say it wasn't a bad feeling. I don't know. Like, whatever it is, if it is in fact that, hey, his body is slowly, changing as a result of using, the Germa technology. It's whatever. I don't really think I have a problem with it. It's One Piece. I don't care. I'm gonna love it regardless. I'm just hoping that it's just, it's fatigue or impending fatigue or just feeling different. Just because you're using this brand new technology only for the second time. I feel like that's something that you will get used to as time goes by. But only time will tell from this point forward. That's just my opinion, my wants and needs. But we'll see. So we kind of get into Zoro and King's fight, and we see that King, as Zoro remarks, King is really just a fighter. The scans say he's a bloodthirsty brute. I kind of like the scans dialogue more, but I'm reading the official as of the recording of this chapter. But yeah, the scans say Zoro's talking about King is really just a bloodthirsty brute. And, which is fair because, he never really said, I'm a swordsman. He never really carried himself as a swordsman. We all kind of just assumed that he was a swordsman because he carries a sword and he's, Kaido's right-hand man, But no, he's not. He's just a fighter. He says it himself. He's like, I don't really see the point of, using traditional techniques or just traditions in a fight that makes no sense to me. Like, again, he's the bad guy. Just gonna kill you however the hell he can kill you, which again makes perfect sense. So we also see Zoro kind of talk about, hey, I'm like, that's fair, have it your way. I might be willing to bite your throat out too if it comes down to it, because this is not a fight that I can afford to lose. And yeah, of course, I feel like, traditions or traditional techniques. I mean, Zoro is an actual swordsman. That's what he lives by. But victory is victory. Obviously, it's a pirate fight. I don't really think we're gonna be over here, seeing anything too traditional. It's not gonna be like one person is coming out on top. It's as simple as that. So we also get some wild information from Gyogoro and Kawamatsu about Zoro's potential connection to Shimotsuki Ushimaru. They even state how Zoro's fighting style is very similar. To his, as well as the fact that he bears a very strong resemblance to him in his youth. Which kind of just adds more fuel to that fire that Zoro has Shimotsuki lineage. Because remember, Zoro is from Shimotsuki village in East Blue, and his master, Kuina's father, is the son of Shimotsuki Kozaburo, who all hail from Wano. So it's really, and even more interesting, we find out that Shimotsuki Ushimaru, they're direct descendants of, Ryuma. And Ryuma's name is Ryuma Shimotsuki. So this is, it's not surprising. Like, it's something that would make a lot of sense. Did I see it coming? No. But it makes perfect sense. We'll get a little bit more information as to what all of that actually means but it's just really interesting to see that there is more connection to Zoro with the Shimotsuki clan and then Ryuma at the end of the day. I'm really just excited to see how that whole thread kind of just unravels and we get much more information about it. Well, Jack is fucked. I don't really think that's up for debate anymore. Unless something happens, which I doubt, but unless something happens that kind of changes the tide of the battle, Jack is fucked. It's as simple as that. Ino Arashi has, well, really everybody, but Ino Arashi has a lot riding on this one fight, even just with Jack, because Jack did come in and he did, as Ino Arashi says, raise the entire village of Zou down, to the ground. Like, Jack really came in and did some awful things to them, and obviously, you're protecting your boy, but yeah, no, Jack has had this coming for a hot minute, and now you already got your ass kicked by both of them, both Ino Arashi and Nekomamushi and Sulong forms up on the rooftop. So now Jack is about to get some, unadulterated hands from Ino Arashi at this point. There's a hole in the ceiling, the full moon is out. Ino Arashi he's come out to play, and R.I.P. Jack, simple as that. Same thing for Perospero. Like, R.I.P. Perospero, man. Like, Ino Arashi is coming in angry as hell. You know what? Is it super practical for us to be, getting super mad at Perospero for, doing his job, protecting his family, while the Straw Hats broke into their territory and Pedro blew himself up to protect them? No, but that's neither here nor there. We moved. Like, Perospero couldn't really. He barely hung on tight to win the fight against Sulong, Wanda, and Carrot. And Nekomamushi is a completely different animal in general. Like, he's not standing up to that. He's done. It's over. So this Raizo versus Fukurokuji fight isn't really super interesting to me. It's never been. I mean, it's another scabbard fighting another member of the opposing forces. Fukurokuji, he's man, I don't really like his mentality. He kind of feels like, I'm just doing my job, protecting the current shogun. You're overly concerned about a dead man, but I mean, fuck you, dude. Like, I just don't see, where's the loyalty? You serve Oden, it was your job, right? And then, you have this guy coming in and killing Oden. They took over the entire Wano. Like, you see all your people suffering and you don't really care about it. All right, dude. Do you, I guess. But the whole purpose of this fight in this particular chapter was to allude to the next part of it, which is, my boy Momonosuke and everything he's got going on. So we get down to the court and we see, Momonosuke in his full adult dragon form, and man, frame me this fucking panel, because this is absolutely amazing. It looks beautiful, even just in black and white. It looks majestic as hell. You see all of Law's crew kind of freaking out because, yeah, where the hell did this full-grown dragon come up out of nowhere? And I mean, yeah, like, if I was them, I think I'd understand. Like, I'd definitely be like, what the fuck, too? But man, it's like I was skeptical about it. Not really skeptical in the sense that I didn't want it to happen. I was skeptical in the sense that I wasn't sure if it was going to happen. Where Momonosuke would actually get aged up by Shinobu, but it did. And man, like she was even crying, and she was like, wow, like my lord, you look just like presumably Oden. And so, as far as Momonosuke and how strong he is now, like I would understand fully if it's just that hey, he is Oden's son. So if Oden at at a young age was just strong as hell for no reason. It's just his weakness. He was just a monster. And if Momonosuke is that same way, okay, I get it. I buy it because again, it's weakness. But I hope that we don't see some shit about Momonosuke just being an absurdly powerful swordsman, like mastering a bunch of techniques that he's really just not had that much time to master. Like, yeah, he got aged up, but that doesn't mean he's been training for, the entire the 20 years. He has not been training for that long. Like, now, if it's something like, that little brief period of time where, they were preparing for the raid, and, he picked up a few things that have now fully blossomed and manifested themselves now that he's, 28. Cool beans. I'd understand that. That makes a lot of sense. But like I said, I just don't want him seeing I just don't want to see him being like some kind of sword master at this point. I expect him to be strong. Again, especially eating his devil fruit. His devil fruit is Kaido's devil fruit. It's a clone of Kaido's devil fruit. It's pretty fucking powerful. I expect to be seeing him doing some breath attacks, some advanced devil fruit shit. I mean, nothing too advanced, but you get my point. But again, in terms of practical swordsmanship, no, absolutely not. But nonetheless, I'm super excited. This chapter was amazing. Next chapter, we're about to see some shit. I'm really looking forward to this. This fight between Luffy and Kaido. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to come of the fight between Zoro, Sanji, Queen, and King. Man. Wano is really, turning out to be a fantastic arc. I mean, I've always said it was fantastic, but it's ramping up. It's ramping up, and it's beautiful. And I can't wait for the next chapter to come out. Man, we're in for some shit. But with that being said, you guys, make sure to like and subscribe. This is my first video, and thanks for watching to the end. My videos will get better over time. This is just, the beginning for me. So if you would like to, join me on that brief little journey, or not brief, but if you'd like to join me on that journey, I'd be more than happy to have you. With that being said, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next chapter.